Jesus.
Jesus, indeed, Ashley.
Woo!
Jesus Criminy Christmas. That's my first note. Jesus Criminy Christmas.
Tap dancing Christ. Holy shit.
Listen, if you and I mentioned Lost previously because I'm watching it with my kiddos right now.
Mhm.
If I was a character on Lost, right now I would be very worried that they were about to write me off the show. Too many things are going right for me at this moment, Ashley. The show,
in life.
the book that I am most in love with, the book that I have read just 100 times, probably, I don't know, so many, that I have dreamed of for 3 decades and counting now. They have adapted it. Got to go. By the time you and I are actually releasing this episode, when we record it, you have not gone yet.
No.
You'll have seen this motherfucker in person, Ashley.
I know. I can't wait. Holy shit. Like, I can't even. I can't even.
I can't even. The original unofficial fan podcast for Anne Rice's Vampire Chronicles and the Lives of the Mayfair Witches. Welcome to the Coven, you butterscotch bitches.
You butterscotch bitches. Jesus Christ. Give this man an Amiee. I mean, my God.
I mean, let's start at the top. Let's give Rollin Jones an Amiee. Let's give Mark Johnson an Amiee for backing this like dramatic shift. I don't know.
It is so wildly different.
No spoilers up top. We're going to start there.
Yes.
Okay. But like, here's the note that I said. I said, it's like Rollin called me specifically. He was like, hey, you remember how he took that book that you like don't love, but it's like a part of the thing that you love so much. And we not fucked it up, but we just fucked it real good for you and made it a roller coaster for you, even though you had read it a dozen times. Yeah, that book that you like best, the things that we did to it, we cannot tell you on a YouTube video that we want to monetize. You're going to enjoy all of them so much, though. It was so much fun. It was so much fun.
God. And just like Sam, when you see Sam, just Sam Reed, he looks like an entirely different person than this vampire that we're watching on this show. I have never seen what a fucking transformation. This is the most Lestat shit I could possibly have imagined in my brain.
I mean, yeah,
even the writing is chaotic, and the cuts are chaotic, and the action is wild. You know, what a banger of an opener. You know, like, this is your first episode of this. What are we fucking in for?
Okay. I do understand that people had issues with the show when it launched. It's very different than the book. They loved the book. They wanted to see that adapted. Maybe you even gave that first episode a try and you're like, it's so different. I don't know if this is for me. Okay, great. You sat out. Or you didn't even know about this until recently. You're like, oh, they did that one? That's not even the book that I like. And you've sat out. I also know that there are a lot of people who are like, oh, this fandom's going to blow up now that they finally centered a white guy. That may be part of it. There is a reason, though, that this fandom exploded when Lestat became the main character. The character of Lestat is more interesting. Ashley and I have said again and again and again, the character of Louis on screen is more interesting because of Jacob Anderson and what he and Rollin Jones and Hannah Moscovich and the rest of this writing team brought to that character on the page and what Jacob did on screen. The character of Louis was born out of her grief. The character of Lestat was born out of her joy and her adventuresome spirit and her desire to do great wrong and great good and to be great in all the meanings of that, great and terrible, right? You know? Anyway, there's a reason why the Vampire Lestat and Queen of the Damned sold the most and still sold more than the first one, y'all. So anyway.
It's just, this was, I mean, like being on a train that is like, the brakes are definitely off. And you're on the tracks, but you sure tilt a lot. It is a little nauseating, maybe along the way in the best way possible. I'm shocked by how, I do want to say this too. I'm shocked by how much of what we've seen in trailers and clips and teasers, etc., is from this fucking episode.
Yes.
So much is pulled right from this episode. I was like, holy shit, they have not shown us nearly what we've thought they've shown us.
Even the pieces of flashbacks. Some of the pieces of flashbacks that you saw in trailers are not from the full, or seemingly not from the full flashback, but it's the piece that you saw in flashes from this episode is what you see again in the trailer. So yeah, they really have not given much away, even though at times it felt like they gave a lot away.
Away.
They haven't. From here on out, I'm warning you, there are spoilers. Just go watch this thing. It's if you're watching this, wherever you're watching it, it's available on AMC Plus and AMC, the network itself. Go give it a try and then come join us.
Yeah. Treat yourself. Treat yourself to a little vampiric chaos.
Okay, help me count for a second, Ashley. We get 3 real songs and 2 that are sort of hinted at in this episode, right? We get So first of all, we hear All Fall Down in the intro, obviously. That's our theme music every week. We hear Long Face from the stage, and we hear Black Licorice from the stage.
Black Licorice? Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Okay. Black Licorice had leaked. We knew that was a song that was coming, but that is not available publicly, is it?
I don't think so. It's not.
Yeah, as you and I are recording this anyway.
It's not available on my Amazon Music.
Yeah, or on my Apple Music either. And the other thing that's interesting to me on that is we do have Your Biggest Fan and Butterscotch Bitch, which have both been released publicly as singles, but not on the show yet in episode 1.
Yeah.
So, which again, like you put all of those factors together to me.
Use your context clues. There's going to be fuckloads of music.
The 2 songs that he sort of hums or sings a little line of, but doesn't actually play in the episode. He plays one for Louis in the scene that we got originally. We haven't heard that song yet. He's playing a different song when he has his breakdown and starts texting again in the
power goes out
outage
in Detroit.
And we haven't heard that one yet either in any full way anywhere. I don't think anyway. Maybe I misheard it, but
no, that's how I read all that.
I think there's a lot of music.
Yeah,
I think there's a lot of music.
Context clues say shitloads of music, kids, and I do think too. Even in the After Dark thing, he said that there's music enough for several seasons of this show.
Yeah, he specifically said that there would be music in the following season, which I was thinking that would probably be the case based on how they had lined this up already. But yeah, you're right. That is good to have that confirmed. Okay, this opening scene, especially for those of us who have read the books, gives us so many cool fucking mystery boxes waiting to be unpeeled.
God.
Also, the fucking boldness of this man to go, yes, this story is taking place in 2025. It is being told from some unspecified point in the future after all of these events have taken place.
And the person listening to it is the person who bid the most. And the 3 people we saw in the bidding war were Armand,
Raglan James, Armand, and Louis. Okay.
I could see Armand, Armand's got an eye patch on.
Okay. When I watched this the first time, my note was, Yeah, okay. I said at first I wondered whether Louis and Armand were costuming for anonymity, or are they actually injured from the end of the cataclysmic events that Lestat mentions. However, I watched this on the big TV and up close, and then I watched it on my 4K monitor, like sitting, at arm's length barely. Ashley, his face is fucking scarred up. He lost that eye for sure. And Louis is missing a whole goddamn leg. He's got a prosthetic leg, not just the cane, not just a limp. He has a prosthetic leg that he is using. His left leg is gone.
Did not clock that. Holy shit.
It clinks when he walks even.
I was hearing that, but I thought it was the cane.
Around his ankle, you can see that it's a metal. Yeah, it's like a robot ankle. I see a robot.
Shit.
I think it's just a regular prosthetic.
He's the $6 million man.
I know, right? Okay, so that means for sure those two are involved in that cataclysmic event. Also, I mean, there are a couple of very specific book things that Armand missing eye could reference. I think. Wait until the end of this episode, and I'm going to give you a book spoiler potentially as what I think that is about. And Louis missing the whole last leg. I'm just going to say right now, I believe that is in fact the incident that causes Lestat to separate from the Queen. I think Lestat is doing
Whatever
his thing,
happens.
and the rest of them are trying to stop this cataclysmic event. And the reason why it actually stops in the end is because Lestat chooses Louis and injured Louis over whatever he's doing at that moment. That's I'm going to lay that out there. I think Louis' injury is what ends up saving the world.
I think that's certainly possible.
I mean,
then
then
Lestat gets to deal with the fact that Louis lost a leg because he got horny over this queen.
I'll tell you this: that doesn't happen to Louis in the books. Louis does not have a limb loss in the books like that ever. And the fact that they're doing it can take a lot of places. But anyway, yeah, okay. Raglan James, though, okay, that is the body of Raglan James. Ashley,
as we know it.
Who's in it at this point, though? Who's in it is my thing, and we don't know. We don't know. So I also love when all of the movements here, I think mean so much. And I like the way that we're layering at different times. We're layering the actual audio from the LPs, or we're layering the audio from the announcer, which, by the way, he doesn't say it specifically, but my money is on that's the House of Roger that is hosting this auction that nobody is actually attending, right?
Right, that no one's there for.
Okay, but the little movements, the fire is set and a bunch of people are like, "Are you kidding me?" And they get up and leave. And then the music box is opened and there are the vinyl press albums, whatever. Raglan James gets up and starts to leave. And then they say that it's not just the album itself. It is these 101 albums, best described as an omniscient tell-all background on the making of this album and the cataclysmic global events, blah, 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 blah. And that's when Raglan stops. He's like, an omniscient record, stops and turns around to pay attention. I think he was genuinely going to leave when he just thought it was the album. It's the information that Raglan is after.
Yeah. I mean, that cask of blood in there is pretty alluring,
that didn't stop him.
No.
It seemed to really light Armand's eyes up, though.
That's what I was thinking. I was like, Armand wants that blood real bad.
Okay. Where the fuck is Lestat, Ashley? Where the fuck is Lestat in this opening scene?
Probably caused a big ruckus and now has gone and fucked off somewhere.
Kelly and Judah both said that and they both are like, hey, the show has called him now, so like probably not. But we're supposed to think he's dead, right? This is the estate sale, and he's supposed to be dead.
Oh yeah, that is definitely kind of the vibe. Like
I was like, yeah, that's what you're supposed to think for sure. Okay. The complete works of the Vampire Lestat de Leon court. That's what we have here. Yeah, and we don't get a name for who's putting this on, but there's a vague French accent to the presenter. He's even got the same mustache as his predecessor. I think this is a Roger for sure.
I mean, that's who handles his business. Come on now.
Okay, what did you think about the fucking Banksy move, by the way?
I
They open
loved
up
it.
this whole collection, and then before the
Oh.
bidding begins, I perform the following action.
Well, it gets the people that don't need to be in that room out of the room, you know? That's what I liked about it. I was like, "Oh, that's gonna clear the room of anybody that does not really need to be in that room."
Okay, so they're selling in yuan. The yuan is the currency of China, the People's Republic of China, for the record. Although it is also just, I think it's the second highest traded currency on the planet, so it may just be, it's a useful financial tool for whoever is doing this. Okay, 2 temperature-controlled wine cabinets. I love it.
Yes.
One with just a really good wine, and one with a decanted cask from the author himself, which I was like, yeah, okay. And he even references it later in the audio. You're decanting my blood while you're decanting my memories. Okay. Ashley, when I realized that what they have done with these recordings, with this, first of all, we speculated in so many ways about what it meant in that teaser trailer where they were like, you're listening to The Failures, album 2, side B. And we were like, what could this possibly
Fuck
be?
is that?
It's the fucking book.
Mhm.
Lestat recorded his own audiobook, Ashley. They did the full goddamn book. They did the whole fucking thing. And
I
like,
love it.
we won't see it all on screen, right? I mean, in this one episode, I think we go all the way to album 5, I think, before it ends. But still, there's 101 albums
Right.
recorded
We got a lot
here.
to get through.
Yeah, exactly. What a brilliant way to lay this all out.
Mhm.
Just genuinely, the conception
really
of
love
doing it
it.
this way.
Yeah. Yeah, because we're starting off with layers of mystery already, and just right off the bat, and it's so brilliantly done. Just figuring out how they're gonna set it all up, because the idea that it's just set up as, oh, well, it's Lestat read the book, got pissed off, and is now doing a documentary, you know? But if there's even an extra layer from that now that I wasn't expecting, like them to move us forward in time and then back in time to our current time.
Right? Okay. And it's like they justify like 5 or 6 different things almost immediately in the way that they lay out the story. Okay. First and foremost, they justified the long layoff between seasons, right? Nothing happened because Lestat met this band, got mad at Louis for writing the book, and then locked them away for a year perfecting the sound.
To
right?
work on their music.
Okay, Ashley, you and I were like, why wouldn't the Vampire Lestat be on SNL? Nobody knew who the fuck the Vampire Lestat was until spring of 2025, because he just started dropping a few singles here and there on streaming services and was playing tiny little venues, doing it on purpose.
Literally,
You're like,
the way they've laid it out for this season.
Yeah, like you by the time this comes out, you will have seen him in a tiny little venue with like 3,000 people maybe, and y'all will all do what? Freak the fuck out and become fully baptized and advertise it all over the internet.
Yep.
Producing that fucking FOMO, man. Like, yes, like it's just, again, the way they've written this, they've drawn their own, like they knew, okay, my kids go to LSU, and LSU's theater, they have a building that is referred to as the Swine Palace. It used to be like an ag expo building, right? Like you'd literally exhibit livestock. They tie them to this giant pole in the center of the thing. That pole is a structural part of the building, and it's still there when it's being used as a stage. And so often their staging builds around it. I heard a really funny story where they did a version of JC Superstar, and they had this great performance, and it was like very, very successful and critically acclaimed. They toured it. They took it to like festivals and stuff like that. But they had, as part of their set design, incorporated this giant pole and built around it. So they had to build a portable pole to take with them as part of the set, right? Because it was incorporated into their design. And that was told as like an object lesson of what you don't do. And then Ashley, our theater, Louisiana Tech, did a version of 12th Night where we incorporated the proscenium that's got 2 doors in it, which we all curse, these 2 doors in the side of Stone Theater. And yet they were so integral to the play. When we traveled into South Louisiana, we had to build a giant proscenium wall on either side with doors that you could open, and we put those in a truck and took them to South Louisiana. Anyway, this is one of those times where they were in the box. They were forced to be, hey, it's going to take us 2 years to get the production done. We're not going to be able to do a whole album and drop it ahead of time because that would reveal too many spoilers, et cetera, et cetera. We can't do Hollywood Bowl performance with 30,000 people at it because of X and Y and Z. Great. Here's the reason why all those things happen in the story. It's just fucking brilliant. It's just fucking brilliant. I'm so pleased.
It's taking the extra time to explain every little detail so far, which I love. It's, oh my God, this is such a fucking crazy ride.
The regretful dead and the traumatized still alive would be somewhere other than where they are today. Okay. We get it. Reference specifically the attempted genocide of the Y chromosome. They call it out. Like, we wondered, oh, what will they do with Akasha? They will do what the fuck the book says.
Why would you not? I mean, not all men and whatever, but let's go, girls.
But I mean, like, again, my little bookish heart sings every fucking time they lean further into it. Oh, there's such a great one coming up. We could spend so long talking about every episode of this. I know I'm going to try not to say every word because we are going to rewatch this so many times in the future, I'm sure.
Yes. But I mean, I've watched it 3 times already.
Yeah, you and me both, literally, this first episode alone. The only reason I'm like, yes, let's talk and record so that I can watch episode 2.
No, I know.
Okay. So we get this first performance of Longface, which is, again, it's so brilliant because it's like, it's literally just that teaser that we saw and all of the behind the scenes stuff that they showed us from way back when. That was this opening performance of the show.
Yeah.
So brilliant. When he flies onto stage. Okay. When he flies up onto the stage after crowd surfing, I thought this was so cool because like 15 people are close enough to see it and freak out. There's like 50 people that see it and are like, wow, I wonder if maybe it's real. And then the whole crowd is impressed because it looks like some great stage performance trick. Right. Yeah. It's honestly, it's so smart to do it in small venues like this because like if you play a Taylor Swift concert in, whatever, the CenturyLink Arena in the middle of, Minneapolis or something, like, first of all, there'll be 50,000 smartphones and they'll all be on you and they will see you do all of the things that you do. And even in the small venues, this gets out of hand for him in this one very episode, right? Well, so like...
the other thing is he couldn't sell out an arena yet.
I love that he admits, he goes, I fear an empty seat.
Yeah, he's like, he can't sell out an arena yet. That's why he's in these small venues. He's not super famous yet.
No one is coming to hear your guitar, Larry. Let's talk about the band, though. This is a cool, again, like in the book, the band is sort of minimized because he goes, oh, and I started a rock band. And then he just goes and tells his full backstory. And we don't really spend that much time with the band members.
We just get kind of like the formation of the band and
and
that he loves them. He does seem to really like them in the book, Does seem to me like he wants to have a little nibble of Larry just because he's kind of a dick, but
well, he straight up tries to kill Larry, but also I love though Larry is Danielle asked the question late in this episode, why now? Why music? But we see it's Larry. Lestat was just going to let him be a bad band next door. Like he broke their guitar and kicked their door in and was like, I'll send my man tomorrow to take care of all this.
But he comes back after him. It was like, that was sick.
Larry goes, that was amazing. Yeah. Like Larry praises Lestat and reaches out to him in a moment when Lestat is having a low point. I think about Quinn coming to Lestat in Blackwood Farm. Like Quinn needs Lestat and worships him. at a moment when Lestat's had some weird, like he's had a bumpy road recently. And so that he's got this little minor side quest that he can be a part of. And he's like, yeah, that would be useful. So like, he is Tinkerbell in so many ways. He needs the applause to live, and Larry brings it to him. And even though they butt heads, like Larry is the reason why any of this happens, really.
I love that he can't stand to sit there and listen to them suck a little. Like it just starts to. It's like the tenor in the opera scene. You know, like that's exactly what this reminded me of in a way. Except he doesn't, kill him and play with his food.
So that's what I was going to say. He doesn't. And I'm not saying that everything that Louis shows us in the book is wrong, because we know that's not the case. We watched Lestat read this book. However, that is a perfect example, I think, of like Lestat is seen through the eyes of Louis, and Lestat is seen through the eyes of his own eyes. Lestat is a stickler for the fact that they're not playing that fucking song right, but he doesn't cut anybody's throat and drain them and toy them and write their, correct notes with blood.
Well, he's had a different kind of a night too. He just opened the door to trick-or-treaters of the faces of his failures and past lovers.
Okay. Are all of those Halloween costumes real? So Judah and I and Kelly and I, all three talked about this. So on the one hand, I think Kelly was the one that I had never even questioned it. But Kelly goes, why would they all be wearing costumes from Interview? And I go, well, it's like a really ritzy neighborhood, right? So these are all like posh, upper class, probably mostly white families. And they're all well-read, probably, right? This is a very popular book of the moment. And she's like, yeah, but all of them? And then I was like, are we supposed to think that this is Lestat projecting, at least somewhat, right? Like maybe there is a Ghostbuster and a Dracula and a whatever, but he projects. There's 2 Claudias and 2 Armands and 2 Louis there, and no Lestats, very specifically.
No Lestats, yeah.
No Lestats.
No Lestats.
Okay. What happened in Corvallis, Ashley? Your night in Corvallis.
Sounds like things got a little out of hand. A little out of hand. And now he's not allowed to have the car anymore.
Christine says, you're buying the wife early retirement and her lawyer a lake boat. Wait, you're not buying the husband anything? Oh, is the husband deceased?
Tragically, recently, most unexpectedly.
Things got out of hand with a boy?
Just shocking. Shocked, I say.
Okay. If you've watched our stuff before, or if you've listened to our stuff, then you know how excited I got the first time that Roger and company got mentioned. I was that excited when Christine Clare showed up. She's so perfect.
Oh,
she's so wonderful.
She is awesome. She is awesome. I'm so excited to get to watch the rest of the shit she has to put up with, this woman. I mean, my God. Like, I used to work backstage of a music festival we had here, and I got to read writers and things like that. On contracts, what people needed in their dressing rooms and weird shit and all that. I just think to myself what it would be like to be in charge of Lestat, like to try to be the person that's like trying to keep the trains running on time and keep him, from creating an international incident. And what an impossible job that must be, and how that woman probably does need to wind down with a very large tub of wine at the end of the night.
Okay, yeah, I wanted to make sure. I had to go back and read our notes to make sure that we were allowed to talk about it once the episode is out. It is.
Oh,
there was a line about Yarda in our email, but it wasn't that we couldn't talk about it at all. Just not talk about it in advance. All right, Ashley. The beauty of Christine Clare, though, and again, think about like taking this into the modern day. Never something that happens in the book that I'm aware of or that I can remember, and yet having an actual body double for Lestat.
My God, it's genius!
It's so smart. Yarda Klopek is the character's name. And so we give him a wig, we give him contacts.
Blue contacts.
We put him in we put him in lifts.
When he turns around with one of those contacts out, is so fucking hilarious.
It's like a dark black eye.
It's so confusing.
Lestat says, otherwise we let him be Neanderthal me. And I'm like, oh, that's so brilliant. That's so brilliant. And also, again, it's like plausible deniability, right? The world,
Right.
Rolling Stone does not believe that there's a real vampire. They don't think Daniel's a real vampire. They think he got old and couldn't write nonfiction anymore, and he hadn't won a Pulitzer in a while. So, oh, great, now he's a fiction writer. Oh,
Yeah,
good for
everybody
Daniel.
thinks that this is a fiction book.
And the fiction book has sort of peaked and begun to trail off. And now this dude is late. Oh, yeah, you should have done this 2 years ago when we were all reading your book, Lestat. I think that part of it is hilarious. But again, it makes this sort of, at least up until this point, the end of this episode, some things maybe begin to get out of hand. But until this point, you're like, okay, yeah, this could all work. This could be happening in New York, and you and I not know about it, you know?
Absolutely. Absolutely. There could easily be a vampire amongst us being a rock star, you know?
I mean, it would take a lot of the people that you and I have personally met to be posting Instagram and TikTok videos about the real vampire encounter they had before you and I would even begin to discuss it with each other, let alone, is there anything, have you looked into it at all yet, Joel? I saw the video and I giggled, but like, I mean, it would take a bunch of them, Ashley. It would take a bunch of them.
I would assume they were off their meds, is what
That's
would
what
assume.
I'm saying. That's what I'm saying. We'd go deep into the events of this book before I would begin to look up and go, are we in a
Wait
a story?
Minute. Is this a thing? Are vampires real? And I would have to probably gotten myself accidentally / intimately involved to really like be convinced. I would have to be like, whoa, wait a minute. Did that guy just bite my inner thigh?
Okay. In this episode, we see the band members at least twice watch Lestat carry a woman out of the event with bite marks in her throat. And yet it's the end of the episode where he's ripped the guy's throat open and drained him to a husk. And finally, Alex goes, are you fucking for real?
Right. Yeah. The signs were there, as they say in many a true crime a true crime documentary.
He was always such a quiet neighbor. He was always such a quiet neighbor.
You never saw him out and about. He was, I don't even know when he came and went.
Now that you mention it, he didn't ever come out during the daytime. I ain't thought about it really, but he did seem to be a night owl.
I just assumed he worked in the city.
A mayonnaise villain with sociopathic tendencies.
So funny. My God. The snark. The snark is so delicious. It's all so well written. It's very Lestat to me. It's very Lestat coded. It's very well written.
I love the moments when he self-edits too. Like there's one in particular
where he's like,
he swipes at Louis. He's like, edit that out in the final version.
Right. Right. We were dying.
I like that he is excited about meeting Joey Chestnut.
Oh my God.
He eats hot dogs for a living. I hope to meet him someday.
So funny. God, I can't sit through one of those competitions. I cannot watch
I can't either.
The dunking of the buns into the water is really what puts me over the edge. I can't.
No, thank you. What's funny though, okay, the day that I watched this episode for the first time, I had also listened to an old episode of My Brother and Me where they had a long extended sequence talking about Joey Chestnut, who apparently had recently signed a deal with Impossible Meats or whatever.
Yeah.
So he got banned.
He got banned from an event.
From the hot dog eating contest because it's sponsored by a hot dog company. And they were like, hey, they apparently offered him, by the way, this was part of they were like, what a bizarre set of circumstances. The company had offered to make a deal that no food company brands would be mentioned at all at the event, even though it's sponsored by Nathan's, like it's literally paid for by Nathan's hot dogs. But Nathan's was like, hey, if you can come, we'll do a detente. Nobody mentions any hot dog brands at all. How about that? And he was like, no, if I come, I have to talk about Impossible hot dogs. And they were like, well, you can't come then, Joey. And he's like,
You're
all right, that's your
uninvited.
fault.
You're uninvited.
So anyway, so like a 30-minute comedy bit with these favorite podcasters of mine about Joey Chestnut, and then Lestat wants to go see him.
Wants to go meet him.
If we do some of the ancients from the book, there will be ancients that do that thing that Joey does with his jaw, though, as far as to be able to consume.
Unhinging it.
What do you dunk a person in before you swallow them whole?
My God. What is your preferred condiment for human?
Okay. When Daniel calls him the Contessa and Lestat calls Daniel the useful idiot.
The useful idiot.
Man. All right. Ooh. Big theory number 2 of this episode, Ashley. Who was the contact for Dr. Farid in Dubai? And why is he here with Lestat and Daniel now?
It's very interesting. Farid, and yeah, what's up?
He's still not a vampire, by the way.
No.
He's still human at this point.
Because Daniel's munching on him.
Yeah, Daniel drank from him a little bit there in the opening scene, which is funny to watch him like dazed off of being drunk from. And he's still like, I am not here.
I am not here.
Okay.
Well, real talk, if Louis has lost a leg, Farid's going to be real useful later on.
You know, 100% Farid is going to be very useful later on. And honestly, again, when we get to the end of this episode, I want to talk a couple of potential theories about why the writers have put him here. But my wondering is from the universe side of things. If that relationship was Louis based, then this sort of makes sense in that Louis probably introduced Lestat at some point. And then once Lestat goes on this thing, he's like, hey, I'm going to be draining people all over the countryside. Like, could you come with me and just revive them? I'll pay you a massive fortune to do that. And Farid's like, and I get to hang out with you and do things with vampire blood, maybe? Okay, yeah. I'm down with that, actually.
Not too shabby.
Right. On the flip side, though, if that was an Armand connection originally, then my guess is that Farid is a spy. He may be helping these folks out and doing what they tell him to do. But I would say he's also informant number 1 then probably.
I mean, if that's the direction that's going in, then yes. Does Armand need a spy in this scenario? Does he want a spy in this scenario?
He's got to keep one of those eyes on everything.
Awful lot of people that he likes to fuck on that bus. So I don't know.
That's what I'm saying. Okay. The back and forth between Daniel and Lestat. Judah was literally like hopping up and down on the bed at one point watching this episode. Their dialogue is going to be so good this season. It's so obvious. The chemistry for them is great. Daniel is both drawn to Lestat in certain ways, and Lestat is obviously drawn to Daniel. And yet neither one of them gives a fuck what the other one thinks about them in the particular moment. So there's no airs of civility or whatever. They're just like, let's just get the work done, you know? But the work in this case is therapy and a documentary.
So strange. We make strange choices when we all could just go to therapy.
Lestat asks 3 questions. Was he there in 18th century Auvergne? Did I threaten Claudio with rape on a train? Was I in the room when Donzietti wrote Don Pasquale? No, and impossible, because I had buried myself underground for the vast majority of the 1800s. Okay, I adore the fact that even with the timeline shift, Marlen and team are figuring out ways to make this closer to a book adaptation in various ways, right? Lestat is like, no, Louis had things wrong. Let me correct them. And that was one of the big ones. One of the other ones comes up later when we finally see him reading the book. And I had not thought about it in this way. In the TV show, we see the formation of the Théâtre de Vampire, and we see Lestat on stage before it becomes a theater of vampires, and he's playing Harlequin. We made a big deal about that because Harlequin Lestat was in the costume contest last year at the Vampire Ball and was on stage at the Celebration of Life, the only reference at all to the TV show.
The only reference to the TV show.
And here, Lestat wants to remind us he was not Harlequin. He
Lelio.
was Lelio. And you're like,
Lelio.
okay, sure. So we got the name wrong. Why does that matter? Ashley, theater kids. It's the Commedia dell'arte. The Commedia dell'arte was a masking theater. Okay, you had stock roles, and the same roles were in every play, basically, right? It was like, what do you call it? It's not tropes. It's
Christ.
what is the word? Not repertory. Anyway, you know what I'm talking about, though. It's like standard roles. You've got,
yes.
This is the lover, this is the fool, whatever. But that's
Yes.
the point. Lelio is the male lover. He's the star. He's the romantic lead of the show. Harlequin is the trickster or the fool. Harlequin wears a mask. Your Lelio has to be handsome because he doesn't wear a mask. He wanted to make him the fool. Armand wanted to make him the clown. Lestat is never the clown. I fucking loved it.
He flung that book across the room with such fervor. Him reading the book is hilarious. Just those segments, him getting progressively more and more enraged and furious about it.
Never fucking happened. Okay. There's a great scene, and I don't think it's from the book because it references a bunch of stuff that wouldn't have happened in any of the books, honestly. But Lestat giving this monologue, this diatribe on the death of modern society.
No, it's great. It's so well written.
Also, though, okay, behind him, this beautiful woman is being showered in the center of the room, except the room is a moving RV. Did you think about that, Ashley?
Yes.
He's got a shower in the center of an RV.
Yeah. Yeah. It's no wonder they said that his tour bus smells strange. There's a lot happening in it. A lot happening in that tour bus.
Okay, so it's the same groupie that we see throughout the entire episode, right? This is D that we see at his side the whole time?
Yes.
That's what I thought. I didn't think that we had one swapped in, but I was just wanting to make sure that I hadn't missed something. Oh, okay. We've talked about this a little bit, but about in the original introduction to the band, he breaks in, he tells them what they're doing wrong, he apologizes about the door and the guitar, he says he's going to fix both those things, and then before he leaves, more frequent showers?
Yeah. Tell Salamander, maybe bathe a little bit more for us. He's like, thank you. Thank you.
I like Salamander hits his vape while Lestat's talking to him, too. Okay. So why are we doing this? We're doing a rewrite. Daniel calls it a Byronic reaction.
Yeah, I love
which I thought was funny.
So good. Very accurate.
Okay. Lestat says, the songs are my story. Your documentary is the liner notes. But we know from that opening scene, all that we have now, apparently, is these 101 albums and then whatever footage that Daniel is left with. I don't think the film footage was burned in that first box, for instance. What we are seeing in this show, I think, is unlike we're seeing Daniel and Louis talk about it and imagining it, right, as we were in the first two seasons. Here, we are hearing Lestat's albums where he is describing it, and then we're hearing the music. And the other thing is, like, you realize he's pulled a Prince, right? This house in Montreal and his recording studios eventually and his RV, those are all wired for sound everywhere, guys. So those are on the parts of it that he wanted. Those are on the albums too. Those conversations are on the album. I feel confident. For instance, the opening scene with Lestat and Louis, where he's doing the FaceTime call and then he's all of that, that was all, we hear that because it is part of the Failures album, because he's wired for sound everywhere. This is what is Prince's house? Something Park.
Paisley Park.
Paisley Park. There you go.
Paisley
This
Park.
is a Paisley Park situation. I'm telling you, that house in Montreal is wired for sound.
He's Paisley Parked himself.
Yes.
He would have the audacity.
Okay. How perfect was Baby Jinx? Ashley. I had such low expectations for this character, honestly.
My God. Adorable, first of all. So on
Yeah.
drugs. Like when he drinks
So
from
much
her,
in her face.
and he realized, there's so much. I don't know how she fit all those things on her tongue. That was a lot.
That was practiced, is what I'm. This is not her first trip of that magnitude.
I would definitely need some water. I would not be able to dry swallow that mess. Yeah, she's on all the drugs, and then when he drinks from her, and he is now on all the drugs. When he called, he called LSD and what was it? The Torvalandine of hallucinogenics.
Pull it up
I
because you messaged me
fucking
about it. I thought it was so good. Yeah.
I lost it. I laughed so hard. Torvalandine being the famous ice dance pair from Great Britain who won at the Sarajevo Games, won a gold medal in ice dance, and they skated to Bolero, and it was unfucking believable. Perfect tens all around.
Yeah, the Torvalandine of hallucinogenics.
Oh.
There are so many good lines in this thing, though. Yeah, as you said, had to die about a fucking Olympic ice dance reference. Oh, man.
Yeah, I thought I was going to die several times watching this. When he,
Okay.
what was the other line that I messaged you about was you can't finger her for 5 bars. You're hurting her.
You're hurting her.
You're hurting her. Oh.
Okay. Baby Jinx. This Baby Jinx scene is everything. So first of all, the character of Baby Jinx comes in very differently into the novel. She's connected to the character of Bruce and the Fang Gang. And all of those play out very differently here in the show. And yet, Baby Jinx does have this hallucinogenic out-of-body experience up on the ceiling, seeing things play out in the novels. She does get a glimpse into the great beyond and does seem to have a wisdom beyond her years and experience suddenly for some reason. And we get all of that in this fucking show. It's so cool.
That scene was so great. She was brilliant in it. She really, really held her own hanging up there from the ceiling.
You die, I die, she dies, she dies. Oh, he dies bad. Danielle. How you gonna die bad, Daniel?
Or did he already, or was the way he died the first time bad?
That I had not considered that. He's the only other one other than Lestat that is a vampire in the room. That is a good point. Maybe she saw the previous death, I suppose. Maybe. Okay, her line to Lestat is, "You're like some wet clothes in a coin-op dryer, just 265 years round and round. Why are you so sad?
Why are you so sad?
Thousands of fans loving you." He says, "I want millions." She says, would that fill up that heart of yours? And he goes, "Billions." I love that even he admits that millions of fans wouldn't actually fill the hole.
Yeah, nothing's going
No,
to.
you're right. I wouldn't do it. Billions might. Well, I got a feeling, Lestat, you may get a chance to speak to those billions, actually, based on that opening scene, huh? Good advice from a theater kid, Ashley. Never play 2 nights in Detroit.
Yeah. I feel like that might be good advice all the way around. I'm sure there's several rock bands that could confirm that for us. That bathroom is a mess. My God, he is having a rough night, our fella.
Okay, having just left Las Vegas and having seen at least 2 of these in the hotel that I was in, the idea of Dr. Fareed having a blood transfusion and pick-me-up cocktail is not that far out of the realm of possible. They do oxygen bars.
Yep.
They do regeneration, like IV stations, hydration things that you can do before you go out if you want to, which I was like, I'm going to hook up to an IV first and then go get drunk.
I want it after.
Okay.
I don't need to pee that much along the way. Come on now.
Were you a stutterer as a child? Okay. It's so perfect having Daniel be the one that interrogates him, particularly now that he's like a big badass vampire.
Right.
Because it's just like, hey, I see the raw nerve, and I'm just going to poke it until you say something.
Every opportunity I get to. Actually, is there a really bad time to ask you if you were a stutterer? I'm definitely going to ask you right then. Yeah. Do you feel vulnerable? Did you just get your ass kicked? Were you a stutterer as a child?
Oh man. Okay. Baby Jinx again with a great line. He, the scalpel, cut into rock and roll's heart just like he cut into mine. And he's like, do you want to fuck? And rock and roll is like, fuck yeah.
Love the philosophy of the Vampire Lestat's rock as told by Baby Jinx.
Okay, I like the rewrite on the physiology. I was worried, honestly, about the blood piss. However, I think the blood, first of all, I don't think they're going to overdo the blood piss. Lestat even says...
It's an interesting place to start an awkward conversation that we're about to have with these two vampires. Everybody knows that, I mean, we all know we're on the same page as we all pit, and I love that the non-binary vampire was pissing, and he compliments their pelvic floor.
A strong pelvic floor. I admire your aim.
Yep, it's really great. But I mean, I haven't been fixated on the vampire piss. I thought it was hilarious. I don't know. It wasn't anything that I was really worried about, concerned about, or angry about on any level. So I just watched that scene and enjoyed it. And then had a kick out of them flushing with Chardonnay.
I think that's brilliant too. But it just establishes that, like, hey, Louis and Daniel's version of this was sanitized in a bunch of ways.
Yeah.
So, like, there are messy layers to this existence.
And we get that recap when he's like, oh, by the way, I love sex. Sex is great. Sex is the third best thing a vampire can do. Fourth best thing a vampire can do.
That's right. The fourth best thing.
Fourth best thing a vampire can do. And it doesn't have to be angsty, and it doesn't have to be sad. You could just fuck in an elevator. Fucking an elevator.
That he still put it in its appropriate place, right? He's not. He's
behind
like,
the blood
it is
drinking.
not better than blood. It's not even. It's not better than even a little blood drinking. However, it's better than almost anything else.
Yeah, pretty okay. Pretty okay for this fellow. Kind of into it.
Sex with the bellman and Dee and honey trapping Baby Jinx. Probably should have gotten off on the 7th floor when I had got off. Okay, first of all, honey trapping is not the same phrase as baby trapping. But
what's baby trapping?
Well, I'm going to suggest that we revisit that in the real spoiler section at the end of this episode. When Baby Jinx leaves them, Baby stays in the elevator and leaves them behind. What does she say? I'm getting married in 2 weeks. I'll never forget you.
Blows a kiss.
Who's she getting married to? Where did Baby Jinx come from?
Well, I mean, she's sure leaving them on that floor with the Fang Gang. I'm a little suspicious about that.
Okay, he tells Dee, face the wall, my dear. You'll not want to see this. And Dee gives the most hilarious monologue. We intercut it with the fight, and it's beautiful. I am building a career that supports my well-being. I'm in charge of my work-life balance.
That was my favorite line in all of that. I thought I was going to die.
Okay, here's the line I mentioned earlier that Lestat says, as you decant my blood and devour my words. He's talking about the fact that even with his strength and even with everything that had gone on, he was unprepared here, actually, and overconfident. He had sex legs and he was drugged up still, and probably he would have died on this 7th floor, 8th floor, whatever, trying to fight these regional idiots, except that Dan and that very familiar DJ vampire show up.
Oh, Sam.
Okay, but he says, and maybe that would have been better for everybody, actually, consider the sliding door of Dan as you decant my blood and devour my words. Okay, this is so interesting to me, because if and that's Lestat's own words to himself on this turntable, like, he seems to genuinely believe that. If that's the truth, then he's going to owe Daniel when all of this is said and done, actually.
Yep, 100%. Already does.
Which I like.
Already does. On day whatever, we're on this tour.
Right? Okay, so they bust through the door as he's killing the last vampire, and now everybody knows what he is, and the band kind of freaks out, and Christine, I love Christine's like, oh no, this is gonna cost you so much money and me so much paperwork. Like you can just see it on her face.
Yeah.
What did you do up there?
God. You're in the same hotel as us and could not behave. What the fuck, friend?
But Lestat here in the monologue in the narration says, once you're revealed, you have to be on all the time. Everyone will remember the thing they said to you when they were in the same room as you, et cetera, whatever. And I do love the fact that in the show, it seems like Lestat is going to understand the double-edged sword of what he set out to do here in a way that he doesn't really until way late in the book.
Right.
In the book, he's for it all the way until it's actually costing him his friends' lives. And then suddenly he's like, hey, but wait a minute.
Hey, maybe this wasn't the best plan.
Yeah, and even here, he's like, oh no, now they know I'm a vampire.
Well, and I mean, when we get to the end, he even admits that he's gotten himself into a bit of a pickle, you know?
Oh, the way he says that, I've gotten into something I can't get out of. It's so, him on the bed doing that whole little pouty is so good. Okay, toi and moi. He's been texting this whole time. Mm-hmm. The first time that we get the texts of toi and moi, we are hearing Daniel say, are you talking to Louis? He won't answer my texts or my telepathy. I hear he's back in the States. So we are very specifically meant to think this whole time.
Yes.
Toi is Louis and moi is Lestat, obviously. Did you guess at all about the reveal, or were you also shocked when she shows up?
Hey, here's how dumb I was when it happened. I was like, does he have them both in the phone under toi? And then I was like, that's so dumb, Ashley. Actually, that's not what happened at all. No, I was delighted when that's who opened that door. But I was very surprised. Because I was expecting that it was Louis the whole time.
I mean, genuinely, who do you call when your life is falling apart and the power goes out in Detroit? You call your mom if she's around, if you can stand her at all. You call your mom.
She's not the worst. If she's not the worst.
I mean, if she's not the worst, and Gabrielle is not the best.
She's not the worst.
But Gabriella is also not the worst. Exactly.
She's a better vampire mom than she was a real mom.
Boy, fledgling, lover, mother. As we fade to dark here and they lay down on the bed. I told Judah when we were done, I said, genuinely, it is one of the most bold first episodes of anything I've ever seen on TV. The stakes that this guy has claimed and laid out for this season through this first episode are big. Swinging this big in tone and delivery from season 1 and 2 to season 3 of a show with established stars and et cetera. Holy shit, man.
Yeah, it's a full tonal 180. It is full throttle right off the bat. That fight scene in the hallway was so much fucking fun to watch. I had such a blast.
Okay, and looked nothing like our terrible fight scene and getaway in Talamasca.
Yeah.
We talked about this scene with the multiple vampires and the van and how cheap it looked, like a CW show. This did not look like that.
Right.
This looked great.
This was
honestly.
Fabulous fight in a hotel in a fancy hotel hallway. And and the lift off out of there was fantastic too.
Which, by the way, that hotel, Dracula's daughter was the name of the hotel. Yeah. Those of you that don't know, in the Queen of the Damned novels, we discovered that there are many, many vampire bars across the world, and almost all of them have some cutesy name, like Dracula's daughter, for instance. There's some reference to a movie or a book vampire. Great idea.
I love it.
Okay, before we wrap up, here are a couple of things that potentially are spoilers. These are theories because I haven't watched any more than you all have. However, these are from my knowledge of future books, our knowledge of future books. And so I want to stake my claim on a couple of things. All right. First of all, I said earlier that I think it's Akasha attacking Louis. That's how he loses the leg. And that'll be the thing that'll turn Lestat back to our hero's side in the final confrontation. But Ashley, that might be 3 seasons from now. Think about that. There could be 2 seasons of Queen of the Damned on top of 2 seasons of the Vampire Lestat, maybe. I don't know that they'll go there. I think probably we'll get more of the Queen of the Damned storyline bleeding into next season even.
I do too.
And then we might get
I could see them doing the full 2 books over 3 seasons almost.
That's sort of the way that I think this is going to go. That we'll effectively get the modern day storyline mostly played out through 2 seasons, and then it'll be mostly cliffhanger for the modern storyline, and we'll get a lot of backstory, and then things will wrap up with exactly how the world, resolves from this cataclysmic event. So that's spoiler idea 1. Spoiler idea 2, right along the same idea though, is Armand. Who's missing an eye, Ashley, in the books? Maharet is missing an eye in the books. I wonder if part of Armand's penance, perhaps, for his part to play in all of the events, if he's not punished in some fashion.
Is an eye donor.
Maharet gets one of his eyes.
The other thing I thought too is that Lestat loses an eye briefly with Memnock too. It's just another thought.
And we have already been told that we're going to get a Memnock reference. Maybe it's just literally, hey, there's people in the book that lose an eye sometimes. Do you remember that? Here's the bigger one, though. Okay. Honey trapping baby Jinx, who screws Lestat at least once, maybe twice, and is getting married next week and says she'll never forget Lestat. Lestat, who is hanging out right next to Dr. Farid on a regular basis, getting injections, perhaps. Definitely having the woman that he's with get injections from Dr. Farid. I'm just saying, there's a whole plot line in the novel where Dr. Farid works on old Lestat. He hangs out with a woman, and then suddenly Lestat's got a baby boy.
That is true. I didn't when you said baby trap, I was so confused. I was like, what the fuck is a baby trap? Oh, it's something I would never in 1,000 years engage in. Gotcha. That's why I was confused. I was like, I know what a honey trap is. Hey. But a baby trap.
Yeah, maybe I'm way off on that, but I think we're at least supposed to speculate about it. Now, here's the thing with...
See, now I kind of read that whole thing in her exit as like she had set them up.
She was part of the Fang, like she used the Fang gang to be, or they used her to distract Lestat, or maybe even get him high.
To get him to the floor they wanted him on to have this fight.
That's an interesting play, man. In which case,
because she's like, deuces!
Maybe she is connected to the character she's connected to in the novels then.
Yeah,
so that'll be
could
interesting. That name the Fang gang is, at least. And we do know that we will see him this season, or believe we will.
The Teeth Team? The Teeth Team?
The Fang Gang, ma'am.
The Teeth
We are the Fang Gang.
So funny.
Okay. It is so awesome, though, when she goes, we are the children of darkness reborn.
So ridiculous. And he just dies.
He just laughs. Just laughs.
His whole reaction to all of them was hilarious. Like, even while he's thinking, I can't believe this is how I'm going to fucking die in this hallway with these fucking idiots. This is it for me.
But isn't that sort of the way that he felt when he was under attack from Armand and his crew right after he was turned into a vampire, right? Like, he's been a vampire for like 3 weeks.
10 minutes.
And they're attacking him, and he's like, this giant gang of vampires is probably going to kill me because I don't know any better. But also, they're so fucking stupid. Why are they under the ground down here, rolling around in filth? Oh, you're scared of Satan? Yeah. Satan's not real, dickhead. Did you know that?
You guys sound ridiculous.
Do you hear yourselves?
Ugh.
Okay. 2 things I noticed in the credits, Ashley. First of all, kudos. The pieces of media that were available for reviewers also included credits, which they have not always in the past.
Oh.
So good on you for that. Sheila Adam as Queen of the Damned is referenced in the credits. I don't know if we actually get a flash of her in some of the scenes. I think probably we do, but regardless, she's there in the credits. Christopher Heyerdahl is also mentioned in the credits. He's our Marius eventually. Guy Madden is the one that I wanted to call out. He is the voice of failure. So the person that we hear saying, "You're listening to The Failures, album B, side, whatever." Yeah, that's Guy Madden that's doing it. Again, I am so pleased. I could not have conceived of this method of bringing in Lestat's narration specifically and directly into the thing, of being able to tell it in a time shifted way and yet make that make sense too,
Yeah. I just couldn't believe how fucking pedal to the metal it was from the moment you start. And there's no dancing around what we're about to do. We are about to get fucking crazy. And it's Lestat's era, and we're just living in it.
Man, okay. I do love that he specifically referenced a couple of musical artists. He calls Tay-Tay there, for instance, forget Tay-Tay. It's my era. And he's like, yeah, Jelly Roll and fucking, what's his name? Not K-pop. What is his name? Post Malone. That's it.
Yeah,
Jelly Roll and Post Malone are over here doing the face tattoo of Palooza with 60,000 people in the stands. And Lestat calls it out.
Your house of 200.
I fear an empty seat. There will be no empty seats in New York. There will be no empty seats in New York.
There will be none. I will be pissed if I see an empty seat, honestly. I'll be like, there were so many people that would have wanted to be in that seat.
Okay, that is our discussion of episode 1 of the Vampire Lestat. Detroit will be back next week to talk about Toronto. I do want to remind you that our patrons always get these episodes early and ad-free. Until the next time we talk to you, we have been your hosts. I am Joel.
I'm Ashley.
And we are the Articulate Coven. Thank you for sharing this time with the Articulate Coven. Support the show as either a free or paid member at articulatecoven.com/join. You can also find us on YouTube, Spotify, and wherever you listen to podcasts. Find more from the Coven with our sister show, Flan Again, covering the works of Mike Flanagan.